Viewer, did you know that today is Constitution Day? We all know about Republic Day, Independence Day and others, but Constitution Day, the 26th of November 1949, is when India adopted its constitution, a magnificent document that is now at the center of fearsome politics between the two biggest parties of the country. Rahul Gandhi targeted the Prime Minister, obviously, on Constitution Day today. In his latest attack, the leader of the opposition said he guarantees that Prime Minister Modi has not read the Constitution, adding that if Modi had read the Constitution, he would not act as he does daily. And I will show you what Rahul Gandhi said in just a moment. But the BJP has also been taking pot shots at Rahul Gandhi during this Constitution Day ritual in Parliament, accusing him of disrespecting the President. Take a look.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी और बीजेपी की सरकार ने आज पार्लियामेंट हाउस में संविधान दिवस पर फंक्शन कराया। ये हिंदुस्तान का संविधान है। मैं आपको गारंटी देकर कह रहा हूं कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने इस किताब को नहीं पढ़ा है, क्योंकि अगर नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने ये किताब पढ़ी होती तो वो जो रोज करते हैं वो नहीं करते।
Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar himself said that the entire credit for the smooth sailing of the Constitution must go to the Congress party. The organizer, which is an RSS mouthpiece, attacked the Constitution. The same people who are trying to celebrate it tomorrow and claim credit attacked the Constitution, saying it was not inspired by Manusmriti. It was not based on Manuvadi ideals. So there's such a lot of hypocrisy associated with the Constitution.
अब किस संविधान के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं? मैं कांग्रेस को यही पूछना चाहता हूं, जो गला घोटने का कोशिश किया बार बार, तो आप लोग बात कर रहे हैं संविधान के बारे में। जितना डॉक्टर अंबेडकर जी को, संविधान को जितना प्रामुख्यता देश में देना चाहिए, जो नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने उससे ज्यादा कोई भी नहीं दिया है।
We, the people of India, acknowledging the great aspirations of our ordinary citizens and mindful of their enduring struggles and dreams, express concern today on Constitution Day over the conduct of those who claim to champion their cause. In this moment of democracy's trial, we observe with solemnity a juvenile war waged over the Constitution, a noble document forged to embody the collective will and resolve of this amazing diverse nation. Yet this sacred charter, meant to empower, has become a battleground for rhetorical crusades that echo far from the lived realities of we the people. Whereas the opposition and netas, entrusted with the solemn duty of reflection, representation and reasoned dissent, seems ensnared in grandiloquence, mistaking fiery rhetoric for transformative action and debates of high ideals for urgent calls of ground realities. And whereas the ordinary Indian citizen, yearning for justice, equity and opportunity, watches this bizarre spectacle unfold in election after election, disillusioned by the distance between their struggles and the lofty discourse of their representatives, we do solemnly affirm, as the Constitution says, that these netas who wield the Constitution this way must reclaim its true purpose, to listen, to unite, and to challenge constructively, not as antagonists of governance, but as guardians of the people's will. Let the Constitution remain a guide to action, not a pretext for partisanship, and let the voices of the many rise above the clamor of the few. In the enduring spirit of democracy on this Constitution Day, let these netas, many of them in the opposition, remember that its power lies not in words alone, but in the trust it earns from the people it seeks to serve. These same people of India, guided by the democratic spirit of free and fair elections, have spoken decisively through at least 2 major recent state elections, where the people have chosen to prioritize governance rooted in solutions over rhetoric that fails to reflect their everyday struggles. The opposition's alarmist narrative of a Samvidhan khatre mein hai, which clearly had an effect in the Lok Sabha election, has now been met with silence from those who seek action on pressing issues, not the mere clamour of ideological battles. By obsessing over an imaginary peril to the Constitution, netas overlook the tangible realities of the people, the voter. To these citizens, the fixation has not only fallen on deaf ears, but has also diminished the significance of their struggles, reducing their lived experiences to an insulting afterthought. These voters, the people of India, have reminded constitution-wielding netas that their mandate is not to fan the flames of imagined crises, but literally to illuminate a path towards a better India.